All right, you guys, I have got my water and I am excited for today's video. Today, we are going to be talking about my 7-month results on keto. And I also have 5 tips for you so that you can stick to keto long term. So we're gonna jump into those tips first before the weight loss, and make sure you stick around for the 5th tip because that one is kind of jam-packed into a bunch of little tips. So let's jump into it. All right, so tip number 1 is knowing your why. We all start this journey for a reason. And over time, as we continue on to this journey, the reason changes, okay? So for example, my very initial first reason was weight loss. Like, I want to lose weight. I really want to be healthier and I just need to get all this extra weight off, okay? Now, I don't think having weight loss as the only goal is going to help you with this journey for long term. Weight loss is a great start and that is a great goal initially, but it has to evolve over time because there are times where we are just not going to lose the amount of weight that we think we should be, and that can be really disheartening. I have gone through this throughout this entire journey. I have not lost weight very quickly because I have been learning about what my body adjusts to, what my body likes and does not like. So weight loss can be like the very primary goal, but then there has to be these other goals that we can fall back on so that we can realize why we're still doing this journey and not fall off the wagon. So my primary goal was weight loss, and my secondary goals were to be able to fit into jeans comfortably. The other one was to prevent diabetes, type 2 diabetes. My family has a long history of type 2 diabetes and not very controlled, with strokes and having to have amputations, which are all directly related to the diabetes. For me, I really wanted to break that cycle. I wanted to be the part of my family that says no more of this unhealthy eating, no more of these bad habits to cause such issues in our life that can be completely preventable. So find your why. Do you want to play more with your children? Do you want to have the energy to walk from the door, from your car to the door at work without getting out of breath? Are there just little things in your life that you wish were just a little bit easier? And, you know, once you kind of achieve those things, you can see those as big goals. Do you want your stomach to not hit the steering wheel? Do you want the seatbelt not to go very far? These are just things that I've noticed along my journey that I'm like, oh, wow, you know, things we don't think about. And those kind of like, you know, the non-scale victories and things like that are so important, especially with a long-term lifestyle, you guys. We have to have those things to keep us going. The weight loss is not enough. Tip number 2 is understanding keto and how and why it works. The more we understand keto, the less likely we are to kind of fall off of the wagon. I just did a video all about what keto is, why it works. So after this video, go check that one out so you can have a deeper understanding of the effects of keto on our body and the effects of carbs and sugar on our bodies as well. Because especially when we feel like we need to cheat on keto, like, oh, I can just have a little bite of that. If you understand more about, you know, kind of the physiological changes that are happening, we're less likely to eat those little bits of carbs because of the setbacks it can have and just because it doesn't make us feel good. I mean, it doesn't make me feel good. And I'm assuming if you're watching this, carbs and sugar don't make you feel good either. Especially if one of your goals is like mine, if you are a type 2 diabetic or if you are insulin resistant. If you're understanding those processes and how keto can improve insulin resistance and help with diabetes, then you are just going to really understand why you're doing this. And that is going to motivate you as well. It's really going to help you be like, no, I don't want that because of X, Y, and Z. Like, you will have the facts, okay? So do your research on what keto is, why it works. There can be some misinformation about that, but across the board, everyone is on the general page of If you're insulin resistant, keto helps to reduce the amount of insulin production in your body, therefore reversing the insulin resistance, hopefully not leading to type 2 diabetes. Okay, so go check out that video. I go into pretty good detail about that. All right, number 3 is meal planning or meal prepping, okay? I do not meal prep. There are some weeks where I will meal prep my lunches or something like that. But you guys, I get so bored with food so quickly that by Thursday or Friday, I'm like, I don't even want to look at that meal that I packed, over the weekend. I just don't want to do it. So I am a meal planner, and how I meal plan is when we are grocery shopping on the weekends, I know the recipes that I want to make that week. So I buy those ingredients. I know what I want to have for lunches for the week. And I usually have 2 to 3 different lunches just to switch it up. And that kind of helps me throughout the week so I don't get bored with my food choices. So I make sure that I am planning my meals out. I don't even really write them down. It's just in my head, like, okay, we'll do taco bowls on Tuesday. We'll do a casserole. Oh, chicken's on sale. Let's do a chicken casserole on Wednesday. Those are the things that go through my head. So I have the food for the week. I just didn't prep it. Now, if you are a food prepper, you're like, I have to know that I have to have everything ready Monday through Friday. Go for it. Absolutely do that if that is what works for you. Prep those lunches, even if you have to have 2 to 3 different lunches prepped, do it. Whatever helps you stick to this plan, go for it. I just find meal prepping to be a little bit monotonous, and meal planning works a little bit better for my family. But do whatever works for you and whatever is going to help you stick to this, because that's really the key. Number 4 is electrolytes. Electrolytes. Electrolytes are so important when we are on keto because we are flushing out the water so fast, and we need to replenish those electrolytes, whether it be via food choices or electrolyte powder. I choose to supplement with the electrolyte powder just because it's kind of mindless for me. I don't have to really think about it extra. I'm sure I get a lot of the nutrients from the food I eat because I do eat a lot of vegetables and things like that. But I just really enjoy knowing that I've got them in for the day and I'm good to go right in the morning. The 2 that I have really been enjoying and kind of flip-flopping between is the Coffee Over Cardio Hydrates and the Dr. Berg electrolyte powder. Now, right now I have the Coffee Over Cardio because I'm out of the Dr. Berg, but I just pour a glass of water in the morning. I put my electrolytes in here and I drink this before I ever touch my coffee in the morning, just so that way I know that I have got my electrolytes in and I know that I don't really have to think about it for the rest of the day. I will also link all of the electrolytes in the description below. If you choose to get the Coffee Over Cardio one, if you click on that link in the description below, you will get 10% off of your order. So just full disclaimer there. But they have them so that you can make it in your coffee. They have the Hydrate electrolyte powder for your coffee and for your water. So go give those a try. Whatever ones you want to try, go find some for yourself. Just make sure you're getting enough of that potassium, magnesium, and that sodium. And tip number 5, the fully loaded tip I promised you about, is keep it simple, okay? Keep it simple. We can overcomplicate keto. I know I have done it. I have just gotten overwhelmed with it. And it's easy to do with all the macros, the keto foods out there, all the different recipes and stuff. Just keep it very simple. And the way I keep it simple is I focus on eating whole foods, okay? From my time of my journey during carnivore, and you can check those videos out in the description above, I learned that my body does not like any of the keto convenient foods. I bloat, I don't lose as much, and it's just not the best thing for me. So I learned through that journey, I can't really eat those foods, or I shouldn't really eat those foods if I want to feel my best. So I focus on those whole foods. I drink a lot of water. So I have my cup of water in the morning with the electrolytes. I have my coffee for breakfast. And then I usually try to have at least 2 of my 40-ounce Contigos, if not 2.5 of those throughout the entire day. I can always tell if I didn't drink enough water the day before. I feel a little bit more water weight on my body because my body's holding on to those cells saying, well, you didn't give us enough water yesterday, so we can't drop these because we need to store it for later. All right, the last tip within this tip is keep your macros simple as well, okay? Tracking your macros is important. I am not very good at doing the intuitive stuff yet. I'm still not there. So I still have to track my macros, but what I focus on is eating enough protein, keeping my carbs low, and making sure I am not overeating on fat. Okay, if there's a day where I am hungry and I'm not getting satiated, I will continue to add more fat until I am full with that meal to make it to the next meal. I just did an entire video about fat and keto and all of the things, so I will link that in the cards above because that one is also a really good one to check out after this so you can get a better understanding of the role of fat on keto. All right. Now the time that you all have been waiting for is the results from this last month. So I did a video about my 6 months, my first 6 months of keto, and now I'm just going to be doing monthly updates. I have so much more information I want to give you guys weekly that I don't just want to bombard you with my weekly weight loss updates. I'm just going to do monthly and give you guys more tips and tricks and all of those things throughout the month instead. So I hope you're okay with that. I'm enjoying it, but if you want weekly, I can try to make that work. Just let me know in the comments. So this month was kind of interesting. I knew this month was going to be weird. TMI warning, I had some adjustments with my birth control. So I knew this month was going to be like not a great weight loss month. And it's not because, you know, I like fell off the wagon or anything like that. It's just my body needed to do what it needed to do with those changes. So in my 6-month video, I was 198.6 pounds. And 4 weeks after that, I am 195 pounds, which is a 3.6 pound loss. Do you guys understand what I said earlier about weight loss can't be our only goal? I'm not upset that I lost 3.6 pounds. I am ecstatic that I'm at 195. Honestly, don't remember the last time in my life I have been this small. So that just kind of is full circle right there. You have to have other goals. Let's talk about the inches. So since the last video, I have lost 2 inches, and the only place that I lost 2 inches was around my hips, you guys. I didn't lose around my neck, my bicep, or my abdomen and thighs. I lost 2 inches from my hips. That is why inches are so important. Like, I didn't really notice a huge difference in myself this month, but I really did at the same time. So I lost the 3.6 pounds. You're like, oh, I probably didn't lose very many inches, which I didn't, but I lost 2 inches in one area. Like, what? How does that even happen? And it's my biggest area where I carry the most weight. So that makes me happy as well. Now, of course, y'all know I love to add in the non-scale victories because we can't just focus on the inches and the weight. We have to have the inches, the weight, the pictures, the non-scale victories, all of these other things if we want to make this lifestyle work for us long term. So I have noticed 3 things this month. My belt doesn't fit. My belt, like, I should have brought it in to show you. But my belt, I showed you guys in a video that I'll link up here that I got to, I think, the 3rd or 4th notch. There's 5 notches on there. And I think I could put another 2 notches. Like, I could stamp another 2 notches in there. Like, that's insane. And that just goes to show me how much I lost around my hips. Like, that's why I said earlier, I noticed a difference, but I didn't notice a difference at the same time. That's the difference I noticed, was the areas around my hips. Like, whew. That was pretty exciting. So I need to go belt shopping. Speaking of shopping, I had to go out and buy new undergarments. Like, I had to buy a new bra and new underwear because my old stuff was just literally falling off of me. Literally falling off of me. I also bought large pants. Large. I bought large pants. I haven't bought large pants in like 6 or 7 years. I have been extra large, pushing extra large sometimes, okay? Oh, that was fun. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I loved sharing these tips with you and what I've learned over the 7 months because it truly has just been a journey, and you can stick to this long term. And yes, anyone who wants to @ me, keto is safe long term. It is safe long term. I can do a whole video on that if you want me to as well. So thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it inspired you to start your journey, whatever that may be, keto or not. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much. Bye.